How you doing? Scotty Bear back with another video. This video about expat insurance, nomad insurance, health insurance, uh, when you're traveling abroad, all the above. So a good part of my travels, I guess maybe even a better way to put that, is my travels up to January of this year have all been uninsured. It's a weird one, honestly, because now I've gotten to experience both sides. I've gotten to the doctor a few times. I've been sick a few times, mostly in Tijuana. Seen a doctor there for 50 pesos, basically two American dollars. Gotten little prescriptions off and on for the dentist, just different things, nothing serious. I did slam my head on the ocean one time that I couldn't hear anything out of this ear, and went to the hospital. It then costed me 500 pesos. That's basically, these days, closer to $20, but basically a $25 bill. So I have had a few friends. One of them, Benny, he had an infection right in here that ended up going in his nose, and the doctor walked in and said, well, I've had people die of this week, and proceeded to climb on top of him and squeeze out the infection. And what he really describes as one of the most painful things he's experienced. He said he really questioned why he was in the Philippines in the first place. He actually went to the doctor in Panama when he had COVID. The first time when he tested negative, I think they took a $500 deposit from him, had the credit card machine ready to take and take his money before they would even let him enter the hospital. The next time that he went into a hospital in Panama, this time COVID positive, I believe the deposit was $1,800. Another friend I had in Vietnam, he stayed in Vietnam over the pandemic. He had some bleeding lung issues. He did not exactly come clean of how much that run him. But the point behind this is I really haven't met anyone in all my travels that has the type of story that makes me feel like I should have insurance. The terms of my insurance are basically this: I pay $101 a month, and I pay the first $2,500. If you watch some of my videos this year, I had a hearing test, went to an ear, nose, and throat specialist for $8. The dentist, them trying to nail down the problem I have here with the ringing in my ears. Actually, the ring in my ears for a year that I've been dealing with this had been a little better about a week or two ago. It is back. It's not overwhelming. It's there. Also dealing with a little bit of, I don't know, dropsies. Just don't know. I think I need a CAT scan. I'm not particularly ready for something like this. But my knee, actually I feel like the knee is, I pulled a muscle. You know, I do walk a lot, stuff. If you walk in foreign countries, like all of these different terrains, potholes, uneven pavements. Actually, this is real. If anything, there's any way I feel like you have exposure of getting hurt, that is probably it. Slipping, falling, tripping. Because in the United States, everything is so perfect. Here, even in my bathroom, there's a little ledge on the night too. I kind of banged the pad of my foot on. Hurt pretty good. But I was used to that from Tijuana. Big gaps in the concrete. That's why you gotta look down where you walk. I mean, frankly. But I personally question the need for health insurance. I think in most cases, of course, having some money set aside for a medical emergency. I'm definitely not recommending traveling without insurance. However, I don't recommend the bullshit travel insurance that's are trying to be sold to you based on some of the restriction factors, from say Thailand or here I think they have insurance. If you're going for a month, you may want to look at your credit card company, see what they offer. 2, extension of your own insurance if you have any, or 3, actually some of the nomad products out there for health insurance are not great. They're just these same companies, with these little money grabs that aren't paying very well. And I think this goes back to really that, of course, you're an American buying travel insurance. The product that I bought, of course, called World Expat Insurance, and works in every place in the world except for like Pakistan and, of course, the United States and a few different places that highly unlikely I'm going to at any point soon. I thought about really switching over to insurance for the Philippines. Another blogger I was watching, the reason why I'm making this video, another blogger I was watching was dealing, I kind of know this guy. I mean, we chat a little bit. We're not pals or anything, but we kind of chat a little bit. He's over in Vietnam and had, again, a good amount of dental work. I think he's married to a Vietnamese, so they have insurance through her. And again, the guy got all this dental work done in one day. And it was a pretty amazing cost. I mean, just like me, I've had a lot of great deals on dental work. Actually, if you work even the worst job in the United States, there's almost no reason you should be having dental problems. You go to Mexico, and he brought up an interesting point that they were willing to take payments, no interest payments from him. And still, in the United States, the insurance, and the cost, medical insurance, is climbing more. It's almost unbelievable. I mean, I could never wrap my head around it was going to be like this. I can remember back when I was a kid where car insurance, I was really resistant to car insurance for no other reason than, of course, when I was 19, 20 years old, it cost a lot of goddamn money because they thought for sure I was going to get an accident, get tickets and stuff like that, which I've been in 2 accidents. I was hit by a drunk driver twice in Las Vegas in the daytime. One lady, literally, I think I'm not exactly sure because I was driving in Walmart parking lot, right? And I was just, going down the line. And this lady who's coming across the parking lot, I believe she was asleep on her steering wheel like that, hits me. And there's that one. Another one. 10:30 in the morning, Benny was in the car with this. Again, I don't know if she was drunk, but she was extreme high rate of speed, comes in, hits my bumper, and flies around, takes out a street light and flies over into the oncoming traffic over to the other side. If you live in Vegas, there's all these holes on the wall where, you know, people hit them because they're going at such a high rate of speed. Not to get too far off track, but, you know, with health insurance and the cost, just the way things are going, it's just making it harder and harder, and the resistance to pay. I mean, I don't know where the money is coming from, frankly. And people really believe that, you know, it's the rich people leaving the United States. It is not. If you're rich, you're happy to stay in the United States. You're happy to live in California. If you got the money, you are happy to be there. You are not ready to leave. Why? You probably own business there. There's an article that came out in I believe it was the Wall Street Journal. The millionaires are people who own mechanic shops, people who, you know, own restaurants and stuff like that. These are the upper class people. They can't live in another country. They have full-blown businesses going on right there. Dentists own dentist practices and stuff like that. Where are they going to go? There's only two people that are leaving the United States. One, the ultra wealthy. They're just bang. They're trying to buy passports. They're trying to get away from the financial, you know, where you get money. The United States wants some. And they're trying to get away from that. And then, of course, you have people like me where, you know, I don't make any real money, but the cost, rent, car insurance, car payment, you know, it's just we're just talking about these core costs. These core costs. A buddy of mine was talking about his core costs. He was saying that he had to pay something like $4,000 a month. I mean, and we're not talking about a guy who makes a good amount of money. He probably makes, you know, $70,000 a year. I'm guessing. I definitely have no clue. But he doesn't have any money left over. And I feel like working online, making less, living in a place, example, Philippines, where my expenses are 1,000-ish. Now it's 1,000-ish. It used to be lower than 1,000. It's 1,000-ish. Not 1,500-ish, but 1,000-ish. Maybe 1,200, somewhere in there. And could go a few months without, you know, a lot of money. And that's the same experience in the United States, but, you know, I have health coverage. I can get my teeth fixed. I don't have to have a toothache. If I'm having a problem, I could walk in a dentist. It costs $15. I can get the care that I need. If I'm having ringing in my ears, I could go see somebody for $8. I could have a blood test, probably for $20. I could have a scooter. Not that I would really want a scooter, but, you know, I could have a scooter for $400. I could afford that. You drive a car in the United States. I mean, the big deal for me is I started doing the costs on car ownership in the United States. Really, it was rather nuts, actually. Even on the Ford Taurus, it was rather nuts because, of course, you know, just like 2 tanks of gas was at like $80. The car insurance, which was very low, because again, like, I don't have any tickets or accidents and anything like that. I mean, I think I got a handful of tickets in my life, and one of them was thrown out because it was just bogus. So I really have just minimal driving history. Plus, I'm not a fast guy at all. Period. I've just putt around, and so we're looking at $160 just for the 2 tanks of gas and car insurance. So you put in some repairs, stuff like that. Put another, $50 a month. Registration. Again, Texas was maybe just a smidgen higher than most. Let's just throw another, for rounding numbers, let's throw another $25 on there. I mean, it was very close to $300 a month. Now, this is not a lot of money. I'm not necessarily complaining about that, but really, even for something that you own, the costs that are involved of ownership, right? And you think about, because say you pay a car payment, right? And you go, well, if I own my vehicle, it'd be this and whatnot. It was starting to get close to where, well, I own this old car and it cost me a little money and stuff like this, but if I just upped it a little bit, I probably wouldn't have so many, expenses or whatever, and drive a little nicer car. And, maybe I wouldn't break down as much. Which, again, the Taurus didn't break down all that much, and that's not really the point, but the cost involved in living in the United States is going to be cost prohibitive for a huge amount of the United States. I mean, El Paso, when I moved to El Paso, and we're talking just pretty much the western half, right? I believe at that point you started to get into the Midwest, but western half, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, Colorado, Wyoming. It's probably the cheapest place in the western United States that you could move to. Maybe in the cheapest place, maybe except for like Louisiana, or maybe, I think some parts of Michigan are cheaper. Could be wrong. But I feel like it's probably one of the cheapest places that you can actually move to. And it was starting to not get so cheap. Just starting. And I heard recently that it was getting even less. I mean, they're really trying to get $3 and $4 a cup of coffee. When I was in Washington, the marijuana was cheap. That was amazing. But I remember standing in line for coffee, and it wasn't $9 a cup, but used to get a cup of coffee, a 2-hour little slip to be on the internet. This coffee shop was open 24 hours. This was a nice coffee shop and nice people and nice coffee. So we're talking nice coffee, 2-hour slip, and tip. And everybody in line tipped. I mean, I think they had to. Not had to, but had to, because every place I went in Washington while I was visiting my buddy up there, it costs like $15 to eat anything. And the coffee shop was like cost me like $9 for 2 hours of internet, coffee, good coffee, great coffee, and tip. Because lady behind the counter, people at least had the courtesy to tip a little bit. I'm a good tipper, maybe not a great tipper, but I know it's not an easy job. I used to serve tables. It's a horrible job serving people. I feel for them. And I appreciate y'all watching. instead of asking you to subscribe, if you come this far in the video, if you look over, you'll see the music that I love, and give a listen. That's the jams that I'm listening to while I work. Maybe you'll enjoy them, and I'll see you in the next video.